Hey, welcome back all you DIYers today. Got something fun we're gonna do to the TJ, and we got some bumper work we're gonna do. So hey, let's get started. All right, so like I said, we're gonna do a little bumper work here on the TJ, and I've seen some pictures. Hold on, let me see. I've seen some pictures of a TJ with a JK bumper. So new JKs here. Let me see if I can find one for you. There you go. So if we take that JK bumper and put it on here, yeah, it's going to be a little wider, but the Stubby conversion, I think, will make that fit, and we're going to have a different look on here for sure. So hey, like you see already, I've already pulled the little tow hooks off the front. I need to get the lights off and the license plate and these little bump pads. And we're gonna see how the JK bumper fits over the top of this one and see what we're gonna need to do to get it bolted together. So let me get started taking some of this stuff apart. All right, so we gotta take the bolts out of the bottom of the bumper so we can get this off, so we can get this bump stop off here. These are all T55s. Yeah, T55s. So hopefully breaker bar here will do it. Yeah. All right, from the looks of everything, setting this on here, this looks pretty good. It looks like the bump stops really do line up really nice with the fronts of the frame. So that's gonna work out fine. The only problem I have is once this is set in here, the plastic bumper sitting over the top hits our filler panel in the back. So let me show you here. So I say when the bumper's on here, it needs to be slid in, but it wants to hit on the plastic here. So let's take that off and then we'll retry fitting it and see how that works. All right, we have that filler piece out of here, and this does fit up in here a lot better. We may come back to that and see if maybe we can trim some pieces off the edge around here to get that to fit in there a little better. So setting this up on here, get it centered up where it needs to be. In order for this to set down flat, I think both sides I'm gonna mark on the sides here and get rid of that lip there on the edge. It's curled over. We'll cut that out of there so this sets down on there flat. Otherwise, it looks like we got room for the bolts for the tow hooks on the front. Looks like they will miss on both sides. And then hopefully this thing will set down on here flat. Then we can mark the holes for our to put the bolts back in. All right, guys, we got everything in there. Like I said, I went ahead and drilled the holes in here, got them matched up to the existing ones. To get this bumper on, I did have to elect to go ahead and trim some of the plastic. Here, let me bring you guys in here. All right, there we go. So what I did have to trim some of this plastic right back here to get this over the top to make sure everything would work. Still gonna work on getting the cover here worked on. We do have the new lights in. The reason you see this little bit of space here is not pulled back just all the way is because the lights right here hit that center bar. I guess I could have tried to I don't know, shim this out, pull this out another, an inch and a half, I suppose. Probably would have made it work a little better, but the plugs for these, if I ever change them out, I gotta have to change the bumper out to get completely off and everything too. So not a huge deal, but just another thing to have to do. And then the lights are in here. I do have a couple of little pigtails off the lights so I can extend the wires out. I will go ahead and cut off the old lights and get those wired in, and then of course trim the cowl air dam, whatever you want to call it. I'll get that trimmed in here a little nicer to get this covered back up, and we'll go from there. And then we get to do Stubby conversion. So hang on, we'll be back. All right, so you see we have this piece in here, but we had to modify it just a little bit so it actually fit in here. We can pop it out of here. Had to cut, just took an angle grinder is what I did. That I used the same one that I used to cut the backside of the brackets on the bumper, and just use the cutting saw to trim out and trim out and trim out until you get it to fit just right. And that's what we got. So once we get it back in here, put down those two sides. Just like that. And we'll get the four little 10mm bolts to go back in there, and I think that filled it in really nice. So next thing, let me get that bolted in there, and then I'll go through how to cut the corners. All right, now that our filler is all in here, all screwed in and everything, I'm really happy with the way this thing's turning out. And now, of course, let me spin you around here. You can see that obviously our JK bumper is wider than our TJ. So, stubby conversion. Bunch of different kits out there. I went with pretty much the same textured black that they have. I'll throw a link down below. But if I remember right, it's a matter of measuring out here a little bit and be able to cut this off. The bolts for the bumper itself to bolt it on are still just right inside of here. So right inside, about right here, is where those bolts are that bolts this on. So cutting this off and shortening this up is not going to hurt a thing. So we will, I'll start on that, and I'll show you how to get that done. All right, so yes, according to the directions here, the easiest way to do this is go ahead and measure out your 3 inches, actually 3.5 inches. So we'll do that. We'll get some tape. We're going to tape along that line to make sure that I can cut along the straight line, and we'll show you that. All right, so I got my good old Sawzall, nice long blade here that does cut metal also. Just beware, make sure you don't have anything behind here, anything in the way, or anything like that. I got everything pulled out of the way, tires even turned out of the way. Let's see if I can cut this as straight as I can. You guys can cut straighter than me. Well, let's see if she fits. Look at there. I'm going to have to do a little trimming here on the front side to get that to get pulled in, but yeah, let's see how that goes. See if I can get that to come back around like I was supposed to. I'll let me do some trimming. I'll see you in a minute. All right, after actually cutting a much better line and getting that other little bit off of there, there is what the new one's going to look like. We drill some, I believe. Well, let's check the directions. Pre-drill 1/4 inch holes. So I'm going to go get that. All right, with our holes all drilled in here and everything, I'll tell you what, I'm super excited to get this thing finished up, and I'm going to go do the other side, and hey, we'll wrap this thing up and I'll show you what it looks like when we're all done. All right, guys, so I got this all finished up. Stubby bumper conversion's all done. Everything's mounted up, and I am ecstatic about this. I think it looks absolutely great. So here, let's go over this way, check it out. Isn't that awesome? I think this, my gosh, this is absolutely perfect. I think this works out absolutely wonderful for this older TJ to have a new look on life. Just another step forward. Absolutely love this. Bumper was actually donated from a friend of ours that has a newer Jeep, so Bob, thank you very much, man. This turned out really nice, and like always, like, share, subscribe to this thing, and we'll see you guys next time.
What?
Hey, got the bumper on. What do you think?
Oh, that looks so nice. Oh, I love it. Oh, that looks great.